Yo, how's it going? Flexinja here. In this video, I talk about how I fell off as a Valorant content creator. You're probably thinking this is a weird video to make about myself, but it's a video that's been on my mind for some time now. A lot of people comment online that I fell off and that I should put the fries in the bag. So sit back, relax, and let me explain to you all how I killed my gaming career. And I know some of you might be thinking that I still have a successful gaming career because I have nearly 500k subscribers on YouTube, 400k on Twitch, and I'm decently connected in the gaming world on Twitter. But this is more so a deep dive of how I fell off as a creator and what I could have done better in the past to make my gaming career thrive in a way that I wouldn't be as stressed as I am today. Let's take this time together to figure out why I fell off. Take this video as a lesson for any of you aspiring content creators and streamers out there. First off, I'd like to mention how I got started with creating content in the first place. As of right now, I'm a 28-year-old man. Shocking, I know, I'm ancient. And I grew up playing video games all my life with siblings. I played Nintendo, GameCube, PlayStation, and even began PC gaming at a very young age. Some of the first PC game titles that I played was Adventure Quest, RuneScape, MapleStory, Combat Arms, Alliance of Valiant Arms, and so on. Also, shout out to those who still follow me from the Black Squad days as well. As a kid, I was always fascinated by content creators on YouTube who would upload montages of whatever game they'd be playing. I watched a lot of COD montages such as the early phase days of trickshotting and thought it was really cool that people made a living from posting content of their gameplay. Usually whatever game I played on the PC, I'd record my gameplay, and I even learned how to edit at a younger age, like 13, 14, using YouTube's old built-in video editor. I wish I still had those Combat Arms montages with mid-clips and cringe transitions to show you all, but those are long lost now. I've always treated this as a hobby until something in my brain clicked. I thought of how much time I sunk into gaming, 10, 12, 14 hours a day playing FPS games or League of Legends, but nothing to show for it. So why not just record the games I love to play and edit the gameplay into content? And that's what I did. And I will say, when Valorant came out, I got lucky. At the time, I was working at FedEx for over a year, and then COVID hit. My brother got COVID, and since I was living with him at the time, I was told to take 2 weeks off of work, which is when Valorant was in its beta test. I remember those 2 weeks. I uploaded nearly 20 Valorant videos that were an assortment of random highlights that got like 1,000 to 3,000 views per video, nothing too crazy. Prior to those Valorant videos, I created over 200 videos for a game I was playing at the time called Black Squad, and earned myself nearly 30,000 subscribers from a game that wasn't even popular. This is random, but from my knowledge, I am still the largest Black Squad content creator, and I haven't made a video on that game in a few years, which is funny to think about. But fast forward a bit, I created my first Omen exclusive video of how I reached Immortal by only playing Omen, which absolutely blew up and changed the course of my life completely. I still remember driving around doing my FedEx deliveries, unable to focus, feeling multiple emotions at the same time, from unrelenting happiness to like an unknown nervousness. I was happy because the video that I posted got over 100,000 views within the first day, and I was nervous because I know I had to take a chance and go all in, and that's exactly what I did. I put my 2 weeks in at FedEx, aka I quit, and I decided to get to work. Every video afterwards was popping off, and it felt very surreal. I just couldn't believe it. It felt like I was dreaming. Without a backup plan and jumping at the opportunity, I quit my job to pursue content full time. The homies that I was playing Valorant with at the time had a spare bedroom in their house in Austin, Texas. And you know what I did? I packed my car with my PC, chair, clothing, and whatever else I could fit and drove my ass from Massachusetts to Austin, Texas. Shout out to the 4 of you, you know who you are. I know we don't talk much, but I will always love you forever. Nearly 28 hours of driving later, I settled in and got to work grinding out more content. Until I got reached out by NRG to join as their first Valorant content creator.
Before I am restored. More, always more.
I'm just calling to say
Let's go,
Oh, 105 on and they're all there. Nice, Chris. Nice, Chris.
Oh, I'm better, bro.
You're insane.
I'm better. I'm better. I'm Better. This opportunity was insane for me. To me, it's always been a dream to represent an org and make content for them. So with that said, Jamie, thank you so much for taking a chance on this clueless and unexperienced gaming kid. For the very first time in my life, I was making decent money, all thanks to gaming and the luck that transpired from posting Valorant content at the right time. I got to make some amazing friends and create awesome content with the likes of Flights, Average Jonas, Kaide when she was a silver rank, Ethos, Governor, and a ton of other dope creators. Sorry if I don't name your name, but I love you all, appreciate you. I got to meet some of my absolute idols that I looked up into the gaming space like Asu and Shroud. At this time, I felt incredible. It felt like I was unstoppable at this point. I even then took my first flight, which I had anxiety about because I've never been on a plane or through an airport before. I flew to Oregon for a getaway weekend where I got drunk and high for the very first time in my life at the ripe age of 24. It was my first kind of getaway where I could relax and just do whatever and not worry about things. So at this time, my streams were going insane where I'd be reaching 3,000 viewers organically without being rated. I'd often get rated by other people like the likes of Asu, putting me over 10,000 viewers. And I'd receive so much love and support through the chat and my YouTube videos. But with all these new eyeballs on me, and this being the internet, of course it comes with the haters as well, which I wasn't really ready to deal with. Surely all this love and support felt amazing, but the honeymoon phase doesn't last forever. After creating countless Valorant videos and streaming 10 hours a day, I burnt out pretty quickly. I had the tendency to get in my head a lot and constantly beat myself up if I started to play bad on stream, rather than enjoying the game like I had been. My mood quickly became sour if I wasn't playing well or if I couldn't get any content that day. One of my biggest mistakes is that I only started to care about if I played well instead of producing good content, and I must admit, I probably became insufferable to watch over the past few years. I've always thought of myself as a chill streamer, but over those past 3 years, I kept losing my cool and overall just raged in an unpleasant way. I started to really dislike who I was becoming, and I even noticed people commenting all the time that I look depressed, whether it's on stream or in my YouTube videos. Like, does this motherfucker even enjoy Valorant at this point? What's going on here? At first, those comments ate me up inside. I hated seeing them, but the reality is, yeah, I was very depressed at that time. Even having 3,000 viewers and seeing a lot of people comment about how low energy and drained I look, it just got to me. So being absolutely drained and with the burnout of Valorant, I stopped streaming as much. I got tired of editing my YouTube content because I didn't like editing my own content, seeing myself in that light. I tried to get other people to edit my videos, but I had trust issues about them getting the videos how I wanted it to be on YouTube, which that's a whole nother mess. I started to isolate and return to my depressive habits in real life. I had trouble eating more than one meal a day, and due to not streaming as much or posting videos as frequently, my views kept going down and down and down. When I tell you, you could not get my mind to focus on anything other than the decreasing view count. Lower views on YouTube, lower views on Twitch, it was destroying me. It put me in the cycle of trying to work harder, but burning out faster. On the days I should be resting and relaxing my mind to better my human existence, I couldn't stop stressing over that damn view count. At this point, every video I created turned into a puzzle that I couldn't quite figure out. The same puzzle that I solved effortlessly before now became something I started to overthink. I began to think the content I was putting out was worse than before because the views were lower. At this time, I didn't consider that I'd been putting out the same Omen content for over 2 years, and I mean, I'm still doing that nowadays, but that's one reason why my views kept going down and down. It just gets repetitive. This pushed me to a point where I became a perfectionist, to the point where I couldn't get myself to post because I started to think that the content of the video was lacking. The thumbnail needed to be better, the title had to be worded perfectly, and I'm not kidding, I'd often spend a few hours changing the title several times until I exhausted myself out from changing it so many times and refreshing the video to see if the views went up more. I will say over the past few years, my content in fact became less creative, where I started to use my voice less and I started to only post highlights from my streams where I was barely reacting to anything because I started to feel more empty overall. The best way to describe my situation is that I felt like I was drowning, but I was drowning from the screens people view me from, whether it's on their PC, TV, phone, whatever. And in the midst of this drowning sensation that I felt deep within me, I started to grow into this resentful version of myself where I couldn't help but feel bitter about my situation. I remember I used to answer people in my chat in such a dickhead way, with a really negative tone just because I was going through a shitstorm mentally. Voice crack, I'm gonna leave that in, I don't care. And by the way, I'd like to make this very clear. I'm not trying to say that my job as a content creator is harder than any other job, because I know people will have the argument, hey bro, you just play video games for a living. But I'd like to say that any and every job in this world comes with differences and stress, whether you want to compare jobs to someone else's or not. That's just a fact. All these factors never made me feel so restless in my entire life, and so I turned to alcohol and partying to escape my racing mind. There's a reason why alcohol makes people happy, and it has everything to do with the fact that it alters your state of mind and it takes the edge off. And that's exactly what it did for me. Some of my best nights on this earth I've ever had, and my favorite memories, had to do with alcohol. And this isn't to hype up alcohol, but rather to tell you that it's an escape. The only way I could ease my mind from thinking about my view count was alcohol. Alcohol at the time was my poison. I started to spend a lot of money Ubering to and from clubs, buying drinks, flying to LA sometimes to go to parties to see my other content creator friends. The more I partied and drank, the less I wanted to think about my online career. In a sense, I became complacent. And this is the very opposite of what you're supposed to do, by the way, if you want to keep a successful online career, believe it or not. But that's just how I went downhill. When the alcohol was flowing through my system, damn, I felt good. And once that shit was out of my system and I was sober, not only did I feel more depressed, but I felt void of any motivation to create content. Numb is the word that best describes how I felt when I had to return to reality. My best advice is not to train your brain to touch alcohol when problems arise in life, because that shit does not fix your problems. I know, hard to believe that one. Another habit that I picked up from drinking a lot is ordering food. I think I spent the majority of the money that I ever made from my gaming career ordering Uber Eats. I became so depressed that I couldn't even get myself to cook meals for myself anymore. The thought of having to socialize with anyone in the kitchen to cook something, or even go to the grocery store to buy food, became an actual challenge for me. I remember some days that I was so painfully void of emotion that I'd sit in my car outside of a grocery store, unable to get myself to go in because I just felt so anxious. The amount of days I spent driving to restaurants to pick up my food order just to eat it in my car alone kind of disgusts me. And not only that, I spent some of those days crying in my car because I didn't know what to do. It seems pretty pathetic to admit all this, but I was truly suicidal and depressed at this time. And a little fact that I want to share with you all, when I used to play games off stream and if I played bad and performed bad, I'd get so tilted and I'd actually hit myself. I'm not very proud of myself to admit that, but I am doing better nowadays and I no longer do that. At the time I was very weak and I was just filled with so much self-hatred. And let me tell you something, when you're feeling suicidal in life, the last thing you want to do is show your face online, pretending you weren't just thinking about offing yourself before going live to play some Valorant. Sometimes I'd go live without my webcam on just because I didn't want people to comment on my emptiness and expressionless face. I started isolating myself more and more, unable to get myself to ask any other content creators to play or collab because I felt as though I wasn't good enough anymore and that I'd bring down the vibes just being me. I can't help but think how much my spirit has changed over the past few years and all the people that I turned away due to having witnessed that change. No one likes a sour streamer. It makes me a bit sad to think about that, but I'm glad to say that I'm doing better now. If I were to sum up this video to help you aspiring content creators, this is what I have to say. Number 1, be unique enough to stand out from the masses like I did by becoming the Omen guy on Valorant. Number 2, if you're new to streaming, start posting content on YouTube, whether it's long form, shorts, start posting on TikTok, Instagram Reels to drive traffic to your Twitch or wherever you stream. Number 3, if you're able to, get a manager to help with sponsors, editing, posting content so that you, the content creator and streamer, can focus your energy on creating the best content possible. Number 4, once you build an audience, try introducing variety content so you're not stuck doing one thing, sorta like I am right now with Valorant still. Number 5, take breaks away from the online world so you come back feeling motivated, recharged, and not so burnt out. Take a goddamn vacation is what I'm trying to say. Number 6, the view count shouldn't always reflect how you should feel. What I recommend is hiding it and focus on creating good content. Number 7, this one's important, stay away from alcohol if you're using it to escape your problems rather than celebration. Number 8, don't go chasing relationships or constant validation from other creators within the same space. You're gonna find yourself drained. Find your circle of friends that are like-minded individuals and grow those relationships instead. This applies to anyone really, not just the online space. Let's revisit point number 3 again about getting a manager. As of right now, I've been back on my YouTube grind and I've been editing my videos again, but if I continue down this road, I will simply burn out again. I do plan on getting an editor and a manager soon once I catch up on my content. The one reason why I haven't been streaming right now is because I'm trying to catch up with that content. I would love to get an editor right now, but I just simply don't have the budget to do so. That's kind of why I've been dishing out videos to jumpstart my YouTube channel again so that I can afford to pay an editor well enough. I'd also like to revisit the topic of posting videos. Another reason I stopped posting, like I mentioned before, is because the views kept going lower and lower, which made me feel bad about myself. I still kind of struggle with this, but I've been better about it lately. The best way to look at being a content creator is not about the views going up and up and up, but rather appreciating the views that we do get and moving forward without being discouraged. Basically, my mindset now is that I'm grateful that I get to post and have an audience that watches me stream, no matter the number. I used to post videos and they'd get 100k views in 24 hours, which is by normal. But now I'm even more thankful that my views get a minimum of 30k views, because that's 30,000 eyeballs that decide to click on my content, whether they watch it for 30 seconds or they end up watching the entire video. And that's kind of insane if you think about it. The same goes for streaming. I'm thankful that I have an audience of 100 to 200 viewers every time I go live, even if I'm in a shitty mood that day. Dude, that's about 5 to 10 classrooms full of people choosing to spend their time to watch and support me. So to sum up this video in a nutshell, yes, I did fall off as a content creator, but it's given me a much more mature perspective in life and taught me very valuable lessons. And like anything in life, what is destroyed can always be rebuilt in a stronger and more healthier way. I'm Flexinja, or Chris, and thank you so much for listening to what I had to say. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video, or what I mean to you as a content creator. I appreciate you all, much love, have a great day or night, wherever you're from, peace.